Yeah.
Oh, wait. We're neighbors.
Yes, we are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we talked about it last year.
All right, you all set?
The ambulance rest,
You woke me up, Frank.
111.
All the way down?
Yeah, 111.
Right on the, not right on the.
24 Center Street. Little greenhouse set in the back.
Ready?
Yeah.
Meeting be called to order?
Frank Capelloni,
Here.
Charlie Coyle,
Here.
Josephine DeLongo. Here. Jean Rocco,
Here.
Rick Rick.
Here.
5 present, we have a quorum. Public hearing notice. The Town of East Haven Planning and Zoning Commission hereby gives notice of a certain public hearings to be held at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, March 5th, 2008, at the East Haven Community Center, 91 Taylor Avenue, East Haven, to consider the following. Public hearing number 1. The continuation of a public hearing proposed by Anthony Panico and Associates regarding a proposed zoning text change and special exception, which, if approved, would allow for the creation of 8 units of over 55 years of age residential housing at 240 Hemingway Avenue, East Haven, Connecticut. Said public hearing has been tabled since January 2nd, 2008.
Okay, we will reconvene and be opening the public hearing. This is Marbury Road, so that's just number 1.
No, number 1 is Hemingway.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that.
For the record, my name is Anthony Panico, planning consultant with offices in Bethany, Connecticut, and I'm here tonight representing Hemingway Associates, the petitioner for the zoning adjustments and special exception regarding the property at the corner of Hemingway Avenue and Dwight Place. As was indicated, this is a continuation of the public hearing that was started in January. And what we have done is listen to all the comments that were presented that evening and went back to the drawing boards. And we pursued the very things that we said we were going to pursue, and I think we've come up with solutions that should make everyone pleased, or at least more pleased. The issues that were brought up that night primarily revolved around traffic and the introduction of any new traffic onto Dwight Place. Why couldn't we get the traffic directly to Hemingway Avenue? We had explained how we had been obstructed from doing that first time around by the highway department, but we said we would go back and have further discussions. We also reduced the number of units by taking the unit off, and we met with the highway department, and we were able to convince them to allow us to rebuild, widen, and improve the existing entrance so that it can function to handle two-way traffic. This, in turn, with the reduction of the unit, enabled us to concentrate the majority of the off-street parking in that location and to eliminate any access to or from that parking out to Dwight Place. We also repositioned the building a little bit. We moved it about 5 feet further back on the lot, holding the 20-foot rear yard setback requirement. And that gave us just enough room to introduce some garages, which will help to get some of this parking out of view. So that's basically then what the new site plan demonstrates. We closed the access to White Place over here. We took the large parking lot that was here out of there. We concentrated it all here with a new entrance and exit out to Hemingway Avenue. The only traffic that would use White Place is simply a two-car garage, nothing more. Also, in doing this, we were able to enhance the appearance of the existing house on Hemingway Avenue. For those of you that are familiar with it, right now there's a front door stoop that's right at the back of the sidewalk. We're going to take that stoop out of there and rebuild it around the corner so that it comes off the direction of the parking lot rather than off of Hemingway Avenue. And essentially, we've drawn that up so that you or the audience can see. We've also reworked the architecturals, and I think by the introduction of those garages on the White Place side, it allows us to create some very interesting shapes in the front, and it helps to improve the architectural even above and beyond what we already had. As we indicated at the last hearing, the buildings are traditional in size and shape and pitch roofs and everything else consistent with the low-density housing that's in the area. We have more than an adequate amount of parking for the development. The zoning regulations call for just one parking space per unit, which means we would have had 7 spaces. In actuality, we're able to provide about 17 spaces, which gives us a parking ratio of almost 2.5 per unit. A very, very generous parking ratio. So there should be no need for utilizing curb parking on Dwight Place. As we had indicated at the last meeting, there were some concerns about improper usage of road to get to the back of the lot, and I indicated that from the corner of the existing building that's to remain along that entire property line and down the common line with Mr. Schatz's line, we would put in a 6-foot privacy fence so that there can be no access from here to these units. Essentially, those are the changes that have been made. Be happy to answer any questions that the commission or the audience may have.
3B, 240 Hemingway Avenue, R-1 zoning district, proposed zoning text change and special exception, proposing the creation of 8 units of 55 years and older residential housing. Discussion and possible decision.
Mr. Chairman? If I may suggest for a vote on this particular object, on this particular project, it should be done in 2 phases. First, I believe the commission should vote on the text change. If successful, we'll establish an effective date.
Okay. I'll make that motion for the text change.
To approve or to approve? Text change.
I'll second it.
The text change was the 1,000 feet.
Yeah, correct, yes.
1,000
55 and
feet
over, 55 and older.
Intersection of Hemingway Avenue. and
Yes, sir.
4-acre minimum lot size.
That was changed. It's,
Okay.
George, how many sites does that text change affect?
Unless there's a significant change in what's out there, I don't think it will affect any other one in the immediate area.
Frank Capelloni,
Yes.
Charlie Boyle,
Yes.
Josephine DeLongo,
Yes.
Jean Rocco,
Yes.
Rick Kramer.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would suggest that this text change become effective Monday, March 17th at 9 a.m. Anthony, no problem with that? Monday, March 17th, 9 a.m.? Effective date?
St. Patty's Day. Make that motion.
The second action required is to vote on the special exception that would allow the construction of the now 7 units.
I'd make that motion
Would you
with the conditions,
suggest that leave some room for conditions for
some conditions with the town engineer, also the same with the
I would respectfully request that any concerns of the town engineer, any concerns of the planning office, a bond to be proposed and set and concurred by the town engineer. Obviously, no building permits.
What about the consideration to the flow of traffic on White Street?
Certainly, I think it's reasonable to suggest a condition that access for the neighbors on Dwight Street, it is a dead-end street, be secured at all times, Tone, either by your on-site diligence with the equipment or by a police officer if necessary. Okay?
Also, the area on the site, provide parking for construction vehicles on the site where your future parking lot's going to be? Is that possible?
Sure.
Okay. Frank Capelloni,
Yes.
Charlie Coyle,
Yes.
Josephine DeLongo,
Yes.
Gene Rocco,
Yes.
Rick Rayner.
Yes.
All in favor?
I have no add-ons, Mr. Chairman.
Motion adjourned.